And then this is what we get right here. This is the result. There used to be some tents right here, and this is what's left. Biohazard. Dozens of needles laying all over the place. This is probably one of them right here. Yeah, this building right here is definitely the center of some bad things. Lots of derelict folks in and out of this place. And there's no telling what's going on inside of it. But, you know, this is Seattle right here. You know, here we've got a guy. What happens is, you got this RV right here. People go and they steal off things all night long. And then they come to the RVs and they trade the stolen stuff for either drugs or money to buy drugs. That's just what they do. You know, I also noticed in the last few days, these piles of bricks are showing up all around our neighborhood. I'll go find a couple of more. Just random piles of bricks that say free. I'll try to find a couple of more. You know, and this is the situation. Yeah, don't tell me that $500 airbrush compressor was brand new, was sitting out on the street somewhere. No, you stole that. You stole it from somewhere. You okay? This guy right here, big problem. I've got a video of him. I'll post it at some point, but I haven't figured out how to blur his face out yet. You know, it's a hazard. It's a hazard. So, you know, I get it. I get it. People see this stuff every day, and they become inured to it. It doesn't really affect them besides some really small value property crime. You know, and you got these street people, they think they own the damn place. They think they own the place. And you got to really be careful because a lot of them are mentally ill, deranged drug addicts. And that's all there is to it. You know, they'll put up a pretty nice front. There's some of them right there in that Lexus. Right there. I recognize the car and the people inside of it. You know, and look, I want people to be able to be free and do what they want. Man, you want to live on the street? Fine, live on the street. But there's got to still be some rules. And there's ways for the city and the county and the state to deal with this situation. Number one, enforce the law. Period. No overnight camping. If you're here overnight, you get rousted by the police. If we catch you again, you get a fine. If we catch you again, you go to jail and your vehicle is impounded. And that's all there is to it. Done. The other thing you can do is you can put out a bounty for trash. So if you want to stay, you have to bring to the receiving area 2 bags filled with trash. And you have to take video of the area you cleaned up or a picture before and after, and you'll receive 1 night camping voucher. And you have to do this every single day. Oh wait, but there's more. To get this camping voucher, you have to supply a thumbprint and get your background checked and your ID and driver's license looked at to make sure you're not a wanted criminal. Ooh. Okay, so that's what we do. Let's pretend that you've got this homeless guy and he's refusing to move. Now see, I'm fine with this guy. Look at this guy. I've seen this RV around. I've seen that one around several places. And I've never seen any trash outside of it. So, you know, maybe that guy is living in that RV, and, you know, there's some other ones by my house. I never see any trash outside of those RVs. There's a couple of old guys that live there. They used to live in my neighborhood, but the taxes got so high they couldn't afford to pay it. And so they had no choice. And they had nowhere else to go. Because the government pushed them out of their homes. And that's what you have to understand. Gentrification isn't a bunch of white people trying to drive the black people out. It's people in government that want power and money. Because if you don't have corrupt people in government, then you can't have corrupt businesses. That's the way the system works. So any corruption you want to point at, almost every single bit of it is propped up by corrupt politicians. Right? So if you don't have corrupt politicians, generally speaking, you're not going to have a lot of corruption in the public, because the politicians, i.e. the law enforcement, are going to crack down on that mess. And if you're caught being corrupt, they're going to lock you away. No slap on the wrist. You go to prison. Oh, well, it's not fair. No, it's not fair. If you have the public trust and you abuse the public trust, then you do not deserve the benefit of the doubt of the public trust. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. So, when people talk about Seattle and how wonderful it is, you know, they're talking about this. Oh, I turned the wrong way, didn't I? That's okay. We're talking about this neighborhood. You know? This is the neighborhood they're talking about. You know, people taking care of their place. You know, in this house we believe, I mean, that's all a bunch of baloney, but, you know, for the most part, proud union home. So they're proud to be Marxist elites robbing the taxpayers. That's awesome. Proud of that. Robbing the taxpayers blind. It's unbelievable. You'll talk about corruption. That's the most corrupt thing that there is. Unions, especially 2020. Now, 1920, well, that's a little bit different. I get it. 1920. Okay. I'm with you on that. 1920. It's pretty rough. Folks are dying left and right in factories and everything. Okay. People not getting paid. No laws to protect people. Okay. No, we need laws. We need laws to protect people. Okay, we got them. So then why do we still have unions? Why? Political power and money. Political power, money. Why are we broke? Why are we in debt? We're in debt because of political unions. Why is California in debt? Political unions, or labor unions. Political unions. It's the same thing. A labor union is a political union. They're designed, they do the same things. All right? They do the same things. Unions protect nobody. Except the people we least want protected, which are the baddies. Okay? That's what who unions protect. They protect bad cops and bad teachers. Good people don't need protecting. Yeah, occasionally somebody gets caught up and someone's being targeted. Okay, I get that. But it rarely happens. And usually the people being targeted are the people who are the enemies of the union. Right? So maybe at some point, occasionally, you know, a teacher or someone has come down, there's some unfair accusations and so on. That's possible, of course. I mean, I know that happens. Obviously, that happens. But that usually is found out through, you know, standard, normal law enforcement practices typically determine all those things, right? A normal investigative due diligence people sitting outside by themselves on a bench wearing face masks. It's hilarious. It's about the funniest damn thing I ever saw. But just doing normal due diligence, investigative due diligence, typically is going to uncover any type of fraudulent goings on and false accusations. And it's not really hard it's generally not hard to come up with, just hearing I can often hear a story and I'll make a prediction, and that prediction often comes true. So I don't know how to necessarily explain that. I'm not saying I have the gift of, second sight or something, but I am definitely saying that something else. Forget that. Lost my train of thought. Something else. Why don't you want people moving out of their socioeconomic bracket? There's a couple of reasons why. One thing is that let's divide the place up into 5 areas. 3's not enough, 10's too many. 5 things, 5 areas. So you have the very bottom, which is these homeless people. Then you got the next up, which is the Section 8. Then you have the next up, which is not necessarily a nice neighborhood, but people, people wanted to move out of the ghetto, so they got the heck out of there, and they got to the closest place they could find that wasn't the ghetto. But still, probably not a nice neighborhood. The ghetto right across the street, right? Ghetto's right across the street. So, then you have, let's see, that's 2. And then 3rd is kind of like the places I lived most of my life. Where I don't live nowhere near the ghetto, but it still isn't super nice. Some crummy duplex somewhere. And then you have 3rd is where most everyone else lives. And then maybe 4th, 4th, 5th, get the highest, I don't know, break it up into some sections. And what you can do is you can say, hey man, to get out away from this, it's actually not that hard to do. All you have to do is X. So if you do X, then you can get away from some of the bad stuff going on in those neighborhoods. Okay. But the problem is that if you just give people things and they don't earn it, then you're not giving them a reason to do anything. And if you don't give people a reason to do anything, they're just not going to do it. It's as simple as that. So, the neighborhood that I live in, which is this neighborhood right here, I don't want dirty, nasty people moving in here. I don't care what color they are. I don't care about any of that. I just don't want dirty, nasty people that don't want to take care of their neighborhood living in my neighborhood. It's as simple as that. I work hard to live away from dirty, nasty stuff. I don't want to live there. I don't want to live in a place where it smells like garbage and there's trash everywhere. That's not where I want to live. But a lot of people don't care about that. And I understand all the psychological, I understand people don't move away from the place they're from. I want to live in a place with a nice park. That isn't trash filling it up. There's some trash right there I need to pick up. One of the reasons that this neighborhood is so clean is because I clean it. My neighbors mostly don't give a damn about what happens around here. They don't care. They're never out here picking up trash. I'm the only one that really does it.